Hello, once again, I'm B.R. Schultz. Thank you for joining me. It is March 28th, Friday, end of day, S&P 500 forecast with B.R. Schultz SP500. And the model has just been amazing. Sometimes people ask me, will your model still hit on March 21st, 24th low? And if you know my models well enough, you know that 95% of the time they're going to hit because that's what's been predicted, and so they did. And then they spiked, and then they dropped back down into the long-awaited end-of-month low here. And so I believe we're going to see an April 2nd bottom. I think that's what the model was originally calling for, was a major low around April 2nd. I think that'll be wave 2 down, wave 1 up. We just saw that. And sometimes when markets are strong, obviously it's hard to predict the opposite. But nonetheless, that's what my model predicted, and that's what I was calling for the major bottom for call number 8. So we even got some of you that have been following my work know that it's hit over probably 12 calls already since a while. So quite amazing. So I'm going to start changing it up here as well. I'm going to start calling it the Federal Reserve's J. Powell's game plan for the review here, and for the reviews for these episodes. So today I wanted to speak to the April 2nd low, the April 18th peak, then a May 7th low, then a May 23rd peak, then a Father's Day low, June 12th, 2025, and then the macro peak in 2.5 years, roughly. What's that? That's 2.5 years, right? Yeah, it'll be a long-term peak up there in February 2028. So I believe when we hit this bottom in around Father's Day, we're going up for 2.5 years after that. So I think this is wave 4 down of the grand scale 5 waves up. Macro peak into February 2028, and then we cool off into early 2029 for wave 1 down, macro down, and then macro wave 2 up would be into end of 2030, and then the Great Depression starts in 2031 through 2034. Lasts about 3.4 years. I'm a big 34 guy. I don't know anyone else that is, honestly. So obviously that's another specific, unique part of me. I believe the number 34 is very powerful in the S&P 500 in the stock market in timing it. I believe it's one of God's ways of using the number 7 without directly using the number 7, right? And as we know from parables in the New Testament, the parables were often confusing to the disciples, and so they always had to ask Jesus, what do you mean by this, right? So it's not always straightforward. You have to think about it, you have to study it. So I think my personal opinion is that the number 34 is a version of the number 7. So that's why it's my most favorite number. You split in half, you get the 17, right? The 17.77, which the United States was founded in 1776, right? So that's pretty sweet. Anyways, and I digress. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a brief summary. I've already given you the dates, right, in the first thumbnail slide here. And then I'll break it down for you over the presentation. I want to keep it really short and sweet this weekend so that you get to enjoy your weekend as much as possible, and you get the best market timing, I believe, that's out on YouTube. I don't think anyone can compete or even stay close to my models. So if you can find someone, please drop it down in the comment section. I do not delete those. If you just say, hey, I think this guy can compete with you, and drop his name out there, I will not delete that. I will not. If you say it's so-and-so who's an Elliot Wave guy, or so-and-so who is this or that, blah, 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 I'll leave it out there. Now, if it's crazy obnoxious, of course, I'll take it down. But if you're being honest, if you really think that the so-and-so has a video in 2025 that's consistently nailing all the dates, then please share it with the group. Please share it down below. But I don't think that the public can find such material as what I'm presenting. So hopefully you are seeing something that you cannot get anywhere else, right? And that is the best capitalism there is. So hopefully I'm providing that. Thank you for joining me. I'm B.R. Schultz, SP500. It's an easy term to search for if you ever want to know. Once I put the SP500 on there, ain't nobody got that search term right. So that makes it easy marketing from my side. Anyways, I hope you're blown away by the accuracy in Q1 2025. Let's move on to the charts. Donation QR codes and donation link below this video, and PayPal link below the YouTube video down in the description. Thank you for following me. Okay, I got my presentation up on the big screen so I can see it a lot better probably than on your phone. So if you want to go home and watch it on your ginormous big screen TV, it might be easier for you to see. Got some nice lightning outside and thunder. That is loud. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that on your end, but my side we're getting a nice rainstorm starting up here. Okay, so I had to recalibrate the 10-minute model here for the March 13th, 14th, 17th bottom, right? That was I predicted on my blog. It happened, right? That was really the major bottom, right around that 13th, 14th, right? And then we had a nice double bottom on the 21st, 24th bottom, rocketed up to 5,800. Then we're getting rocked back down lower into the end of March as predicted. Now, I've used some of my more fine-tuned models to predict that it would be right around April 2nd. And what's pretty funny about that is then I learned after I was predicting this end of March low, right? You saw that I moved it, right? Before any political events transpired that I was aware of. You saw I moved it out to the end of March. What's interesting is then Trump said something about like, an extra round of tariffs on anyone that bought Venezuelan oil around, into April 2nd, right? And so that sent the world into a tizzy. And I didn't know any of that, right? I was just predicting it. You saw my video is, what, a week and a half old or week old now. I had no clue at the time that that was going to be the political event that unfolded around my date. And then obviously with some fine-tuning of the 5-minute model, then I was able to really tag into the April 2nd, roughly low. And sure enough, that's what it looks like. So you tell me, is it the events that drive markets, or is it math that drives markets, or do people like the president, do they get really good forecasts and they know what day the market's going to bottom, so they just plan their worst economic decisions or events for the world around those dates, right? I mean, if I was the world president or king, that's what I would do. If I had a great forecast, a really good model, and it said, hey, the market's going to bottom on this date, I would plan my worst events around that date, right? So to make it look like I own the narrative. And so I really think that if you follow my models, you follow me for a long time, you are probably pretty sure by now that the mathematics drives the markets, historical data predicts the future, and that the politics of the current day or the news tries to steal the narrative or tries to dominate the narrative, right? Flood the narrative, if you will. Flood the zone, as they call it. I have no clue, but that's my assumption, right? It takes a production line to build a car. You can't have a market crash without a production line, so to speak, to build that car. So you have to have 18 months of data to produce a market crash in the future. So you had to have all this market movement back in 2023-24 to create a market crash that would happen in 2025. So I do not believe that has anything to do with Donald Trump or any other politician, right? The crash of 2025, I believe, is actually all dependent and predicated on historical data. That's what sets me apart from most. And then the people that try to claim that they're cool because they know Elliot Wave, I'm sorry, but Elliot Wave, in my opinion, is not cool at all and is so horrible that not two analysts can see the same thing. But here I am producing a video in which all of you can see the charts that I'm providing. They don't move, they don't change, and the predictions are, near 90% correct or better, I would say, in my opinion. Maybe you have a worse opinion, but for 2025, can you find someone that beats my work? I don't think so. Do I want to be like a modern day Joseph of the Old Testament times that predicted 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine? Yes, in a way, and no, in a way, right? Who'd want to predict that there's going to be a famine in the land from 2031 through 2034? Oops, did I just say that out loud? Yeah, I do believe that there is a window of time that I believe that the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, has set up, that he has purposefully set up a stock market depression, right? And the first wave of that is going to occur, in my opinion, from end of Q1 2028 to the end of Q1 2029. It'll be about a year in length. You'll see the soft decline in markets, if I'm right, from March 2028 to into the end of February 2029 or March 2029. That'll be wave 1 down. And then you'd have wave 2 up, which will last about 17.77 months, which will lead it into the end of 2030 for wave 2 up. And then wave 3 down will be a 3.4 year collapse in markets, or 4.3 years collapse in markets. So they're both 7, right? So I predicate all my work on the number 7 because it's a biblical number. And obviously Joseph with 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. I believe that God uses things like the number 7 in different ways in economics. A very powerful number in my opinion. And if you take the number, 34 times 7.7, you get 261.8, which is almost exactly how many weekdays there are in a calendar year, which is blows my mind. So anywho, we got this bottom coming up around April 2nd, right? And then as you saw from the first slide, then we'll go talk about where we go up to. So thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you are highly entertained by the material that I'm presenting, and hopefully it's highly captivating. And if I get this to the point where I can calculate out 3, 4, 5 months for predictions, oh wait, no, I'm calculating out like 3 years from now, right? I'm calculating essentially 3 years from now, because I'm saying that the macro peak in markets is going to be roughly the Super Bowl of 2028. So I believe that there's going to be a bull run from Father's Day 2025 into Super Bowl of 2028, and I believe that is the end of the macro bull market. And so basically I'm predicting the next 3 years, if you will. So could I not produce another video for 3 years? I guess I could, right? If it's highly accurate, what more can you ask for, right? So yeah, so my personal view of what I'm going to do with my 401k, what I'm going to consider, I guess I might say, since it's 2 or 3 months in the future, I guess it really doesn't matter at this point, because it's almost the end of March here. Around Father's Day, if all my calls are correct, I'm considering putting all my 401k back in around that, Father's Day time frame. I'm using the word consider, not saying I will. I'm considering. So you should speak with a financial professional. I'm not licensed, yada, yada, yada. Disclaimer, caveat emptor. Again, I'm not licensed in any way, shape, or form. Cue the laughter in the background, by the fake audience. So with that said, after the April 2nd bottom, we should have like another 3 waves up, right? Because if on this chart you see the bottom around the 13th, 14th, so that was the beginning of wave 1, and then we saw the markets jump up until 2 days ago, up to near 5,800, now in wave 2 down into April 2nd. And so where does wave 3 take us for a peak? From the thumb, so let's jump to it. So from the thumb slide, that I'm going to say April 18th, right? Good Friday. The end of Holy Week, if you will. And then Jesus went to the cross for my sins and the world's. And yeah, that's where I see the next peak, right around Good Friday. And Holy Week is never a week you want to bet against, let me tell you. You ever tried to do that before? Yeah, you'll pay for it dearly in most times. So we see a peak. I see a peak around April 18th, Good Friday. And then you can see a triple top in the blue line going out to May 23rd, which would be the day before Memorial Day, so that would be your next peak. Then obviously I want to show you where's the bottom between the peaks, right? And so I looked up on the FOMC website, and I think the Fed meets around May 7th, so I think that's roughly where it's going to be. I don't have a super good lock on it yet, but obviously if I don't create another video between now and forever, you'll know that my prediction didn't change, and you know that it still is roughly May 7th as the bottom in markets. Or you can go to my blog and see me blabbering like crazy and giving you all my harebrained ideas there. But again, if I don't make another video, then just assume that my prediction hasn't changed. All right, let's move on to that May 7th low and see how I explain it. This is just the 1-minute Federal Reserve peak model that predicted that there would be a peak again on Good Friday from the last review. Okay, so this is how I get to this. So essentially you have what I think is going to happen is I think the Einstein model is going to break on March 31st or April 1st, April 2nd, and it's going to create some type of 1, 2, 3 count into the April 2nd low, and then you're going to extrapolate that to the top of the chart, and I think that'll be your next low around May 7th. So that's how I get to that prediction right now. Obviously, once I have the end of April or late April figured out, that low will probably be more crystal clear in other models. But again, if I don't make another video, just assume that all my prediction has not changed on my end. And again, you can always go to my blog and hear me blather and blather, blather. If you love my work, please consider donating. I love it when people donate, even if it's $23, $34, $77. There was a $1,500 donation around the Super Bowl. So is that individual still listening? Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, but there's quite a few other donations that come in, $77. So I got a couple of those today and a $34 today. So I thank you so much. Yeah, they all mean the world to me. It's a lot of fun, obviously, to be highly precise in stock market timing, because it's a legendary sport, if you will, and very few can do it, right? So it's a gift that the Lord has definitely given me, and so I try to do my best to give it away for free, because people always say so mysterious, right, when they have their models, and then you hear about them, but you always wonder, whoa, I wish I could have met this guy that lived 50, 70 years ago, and I wish I could have seen some of his models and try to understand blah, blah, blah. Well, I do everything that I do out in the open. You can see it. You're watching the videos. You can share my videos. That'd mean a lot to me as well. Yes, and I have a strong faith in the Lord Jesus, and I read a book called Release the Power of Prayer by George Mueller, who created 5 orphanages was it over near Germany or whatever? I think current day Germany, or was it Germany at the time? Strictly through faith and prayer. He never asked anyone for money, right? So obviously I always ask for donations, but this gentleman, obviously, he's meant a lot to me and encouraged my faith and helped me grow my faith. So if you're wondering, how did you get to where you are with all these models? How have you grown to such an exceptional level in stock market timing that is unparalleled, really, on YouTube, for its consistency, for its accuracy, for its repeatability? It's unparalleled. So again, if you find someone that can compete, please drop it down in the YouTube chat. Let other people know, because if no one does, then then hopefully the public start to realize what a gift this truly is to me, and hopefully to the public, and hopefully you find my work highly unbelievable, right, in its accuracy. You can go back, watch all the videos of 2025, and even when I was calling for a stock market peak back in I think it was late November 2024. Yep, that's when I started calling for the macro peak in the markets, and we got the late March bust that I've been waiting for, and then I think the final bottom of the markets is around Father's Day, so just a little bit before Father's Day, and then I think we go up into February of 2028, the Super Bowl. I'll say it again and again because people like to hear it again and again. And then you're going to listen to this video probably 34 times between now and Father's Day. And then you'll keep listening to every word I say, trying to understand exactly what I'm saying. So that's why I repeat myself time to time. People want to hear it. So if you don't want to donate, or if you don't want to hear it, you can just donate bigger gifts. If you do want to hear it, you can still donate bigger gifts. I'm all for everybody. Now, it is kind of funny to me when people say they demand. There's this one follower who was giving me a hard time and really said he wanted precise timing. He wasn't going to settle for anything less. And that's when I started looking at GAN prices and subscription prices. I think Avi Gilburt, who claims to be used to claim, I don't know what he claims anymore, but used to claim he was one. I would think he was claiming he was one of the best, and he used to really talk down to other timers quite a bit. I think he charges up to, I think his company charges up to $2,400 a year for subscription. And just to learn GAN's techniques, I was reading that there's a service you can pay up to $10,000 a year, believe it or not, just to learn what they do. Not even make any money off of it, just to learn what they do. So here I am, giving away all my work for free. And that's where my competitive advantage is, because I believe a subscription to my work, if you want to get serious, if you want to be a hard-nosed, how much do you think your subscription is worth? I'm going to say $17,000 a year or up to $34,000 a year. I think my work is so competitive that you're not going to find anyone that can really touch it. Not on YouTube and not from Elliot Wave. Nobody in Elliot Wave can touch my S&P timing. I'll tell you that right now. So compile all their subscriptions together and you're going to come out to about 17 grand. So I think that's why I encourage people to donate. I give my work away for free because I want to prove that I can give away the world's best market timing, have a subscription cost of $17,000 to $34,000 a year, but yet go all in for free and let the users get to enjoy it. Because what's the use of becoming extremely wealthy, and not having people enjoy what you do? Everyone's just a hard nose and wants to just drill you for money all the time. No, if you enjoy my work, you make quite a bit of money or are highly entertained off of it, or just blown away after so many of these videos, you're like, how do you do this so consistently that you want to donate? Feel free. Make my day. Send me a donation at 3:40 in the morning or 3:40 in the afternoon your time, sometime. A random day, right? 3:40. If you send me a donation at 3:40, I'll get your point. It's my favorite number, right? 34, 3:40. Get it? 3:40 in the morning, 3:40 in the evening. Yeah, that would make me laugh, right? Or exactly at 7 o'clock in the morning or at night. If you want to make me laugh. Usually I don't reply to all the donations except for maybe a week or two later. I don't really read my emails, because the more I read emails, as you might imagine, my mind gets out of my models and gets into emails. So I really try to stay focused on my work, because I really think that the best of my work and the best of my abilities is when I'm focused on my work. So if I start reading other people's opinions, or let's say I get an email with a donation and the person complains the whole time, right? Well, all of a sudden I lose my focus at that point. So if you donate, I may not respond for 2, 3, 4 weeks. At that point, like after all my calls have been made, maybe I'll say, I'll make a response to you. But if I don't respond right away, please don't take it personally. Please just understand that I like to stay in the zone. And when I get in the zone, I don't want to leave it. And again, like negative comments can completely get my mind out of what I was thinking about, right? So I don't watch the news. I don't watch anything. I just watch market data in my stock and my moving averages, honestly. I don't watch anything else. Now, obviously, I pick up a snippet here, a snippet there of the news and what tariffs are doing, things like that. But if you're wondering why I don't respond to your kind and generous donation to me right away, it's probably because I don't want to lose my focus. And if I haven't responded to you, I apologize. Number one, I'm very grateful for your donations. Even though I think my work is worth tons of money, right? I don't care about that. I care about you as the user, and I'm thankful for your following. I thank you for your gifts. I really do. And so I never want anyone to feel underappreciated. I really don't. And I hope that bleeds through the microphone, that I try to put as much value in my videos and in my presentations, in my models, that deliver so much value you can't find it anywhere else. I think most times people get subscriptions, the thing they feel like they get taken, right? You pay $2,400 to something for a subscription for Elliot Wave, in my opinion, and at the end of the year, you're like, why did I pay that money? It's garbage. I could have used like anything and could have got the same results as Elliot Wave. I mean, good heavens. I could seriously use the stock market timing from this guy, B.R. Schultz SP500, and buy Bitcoin on his bottoms, and I'd probably do better than using Elliot Wave, right? I mean, I bet you that if the major low is in June of 2025, I bet you Bitcoin bottoms there. I bet you XRP bottoms there. I bet you all the made players bottom at the same time the S&P bottoms, right? So that's just my bet. So I also look at crypto bottoming on April 2nd, right? And what I like about crypto and these bottoms that occur around April 2nd, let's say, is Sundays are usually the worst day for crypto, at least in my opinion. That's what I've noticed. Holidays and Sundays, because no one buys crypto on holidays or the day before holiday, or everyone's yanking their money out before a holiday so they can spend it on the holiday, or on a Sunday. No one's buying crypto on Sunday. So sometimes you see crypto will crash 20% on a Sunday. Every now and then it goes up 34%, right? Because someone says something newsworthy on a Sunday. But a lot of times there's no demand or interest in crypto on the weekends. So when we have a long weekend like the weekend ahead of us, going into April 2nd as low, you could see XRP drop 30% on Sunday, right? And then I might start picking some up on Sunday. If I see a 30% drop in crypto, then I might be picking some up, because I feel like we're near that bottom, right, in the April 2nd for markets and equities and things of that nature. That's my opinion. That's just how I'm going to play it. But anyways, that's something to look forward to in your own personal models and instrumentations and indicators. Around my bottom dates is, what is crypto doing? I think liquidity travels together. It leaves markets and runs into markets roughly the same time. So I always look at crypto about the same time as my macro bottoms, just to give you a FYI. All right, so this would explain to you why I believe that, April 2nd is the major bottom day if the graph doesn't change, which if I don't make another video, assume that it didn't change. So a major bottom around April 2nd, then you'd have the extension all the way to the top of the graph, and that's around May 7th. So I assume that's when the next bottom is in markets. So again, you had this mid-March low, then you had the pop, and then in the model, so that's wave 1 up, wave 2 down into April 2nd bottom. So again, that gray graph, that slate blue color in the Einstein model, it pops up and it's going to pop down, hopefully, is what I expect, into April 2nd for wave 2 down. Then you have wave 3 up into the Good Friday peak. That's wave 3. Then wave 4 down is into this May 7th time frame. That would be the next bottom, would be your May 7th. And then wave 5 up into May 23rd, and then the exhaustion wave into Father's Day 2025, where you could see another 7 to 10% loss in the markets. You could see a 10% drop between the peak pre-Memorial Day into the bottom around Father's Day. You could see, again, a -7 to a -10% drop in markets between May 23rd's peak and Father's Day's low. Again, a drop in markets of roughly 10, maybe 7.77% from that peak on May 23rd in markets to the low right around Father's Day. So you can do the extensions, you can do the price extensions, you can do the percentage loss extensions, things of that nature from the peak at May 23rd, and guess where that, you can do a 7% drop, right? So let's say on May 23rd, the S&P tops out at 5,700, let's say. Well, let's just say 5,500, right? And then a 10% drop of 5,500, as you know, would be 550 points. So cut off 100 points. So that's 450 is about 7.5%, let's say. So look for a drop of 450 points. So from 5,500 down to, 5,100, let's say. So again, you can do the 7% drop or 7.5% drop from whatever peak is on SP500 USD on TradingView.com to kind of gauge how far down I think the Father's Day low could be. Could it be a 20% drop? It certainly could. I don't know. Is it going to be the 34-month moving average down at 4,800? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing that would be like a psych out move. I'm guessing there will be a lot of money waiting for the 4,800 mark, 4,850 mark on the 34-month moving average, but I'm guessing they'll tease it and they'll get it down to like just under 5,000. So you think it's going to go to 4,800, right? But it never does, and you miss the bottom. That's my guess, because I'm kind of expecting some kind of tease with wave 4. Wave 4 is kind of a gentle wave, I think, in my opinion. And then we have a blast off into the Super Bowl of 2028. And again, we then have like the first wave of the depression down into early 2029. It's kind of a soft wave. Maybe only lose 5% of market value, maybe between the 2 points or 7%, right? Maybe it's not too much, and maybe people don't think of it as a depression. And then we go up into end of 2030, and maybe we make a slightly higher all-time high at the end of 2030 just to throw people off, right? And they think, oh, it's going to be a bull market forever again, just like it was in 1999. And then all of a sudden the knees get taken out of the market and markets crash for the next 3.4 years or the next 4.3 years, and then it's just horrible. From 2031 is the first year of the depression through, again, I think 2034, mid 2034, so that'd be about 3.4 years. And again, that's my 34 again. So that's kind of my full scale review of the market. Sorry it wasn't 5 minutes like I hoped to be. I actually thought my family was home, and so I was going to try to keep it short, but it was actually the thunder outside. It wasn't anyone outside. So I think it's still raining outside. But anyways, that's a quick rundown of my model. I guess I still have a couple slides left to go, so we'll keep moving. So that gave you the May 7th low, and then this gives you, again, the May 23rd peak in markets. So again, from May 7th, I believe that'll bottom around May 7th. Then markets will move up for wave 5 up into May 23rd, 2025 for their next peak. Okay, so there's a couple parallels here. Essentially, the gold wave is going out to the plus 50 horizontal, and that's the traditional model that I have for market crashes. So it should produce some type of I would think 7% crash from May 23rd into mid-late June, I would think. Usually the tail end is like a 7%, 10% drop in markets. So that's kind of what I'm expecting at the very tail end. And then down at the bottom, I learned that you don't want to use 50 point separations. You want to use 25-point separations. And actually, what's interesting, obviously, is around 77, right? Around my sevens, it's 75. That's a 75 horizontal. So right around the 77 horizontal, which I found very fascinating, is the reset. So you get like 3 or 4 touch points down there, and you throw a trend line, and where it hits the horizontal, negative 75, that is the lowest low. Okay. So I used to think it was the 50, and then I learned I got burned so many times. I'm like, what's going on? I feel like my system's there, but then I realized I'd separate everything by 25, and then obviously that's where it came to the negative 77, which I found very fast. Negative 75, but for just general terms, negative 77, which I found very fascinating because that's the reset. And so I expect markets to hit their full reset low around, again, mid-June 2025. That's the Father's Day. And then after we hit this reset for the final bottom in markets, then I believe that markets go up for the next 2.5 years. And I think then interest rates will probably start going down a little bit. Maybe they just travel down slowly into February 2028. But I think the peak in markets of February 2028 are going to be significant because I think that's where interest rates will bottom, right? That's usually what happens is interest rates finally get in some kind of downtrend, right? And then markets go up until the interest rates bottom. So if I'm right, we would see interest rates slowly decline over the next 2.5 years and then hit their final low in interest rates around the end of Q1 2028. Now, could that be Christmas of 2027? It certainly could, right? That's usually where interest rates can hit a big low, is because no one's usually buying homes around the end of December. So you could see the final major low in interest rates around the end of 2027, around Christmas time. And then I think they're going to start working their way up into the Great Depression. And then who knows what happens from 2031 through 2034. I think you see some really bad times in the United States. You could see the majority of the middle class wiped out because of AI. Not really sure. And my hunch is that President Trump has some type of insight into this, and so I think that's why he's trying to bring so many jobs back in the United States, is because he can see how bad things are, and he can see that if we don't have any jobs in this country from 2031 through 2034, we are done as a nation. We will lose everything. And so I think that's what's all behind this. I think that's what's behind the crypto sovereignty fund. Is I think if the dollar goes horribly down because of printing of money in the future, crypto would balance that out, right? So if they have a sovereign wealth fund for the nation and somehow they destroy the dollar, the sovereign wealth fund for crypto would skyrocket, because as the dollar loses value, crypto would skyrocket in value. So I think that's the counterbalance that President Trump is putting in place, again, to protect against the Great Depression of 2031 through 2034. Now, if President Trump or one of your cabinet or one of your close advisors is listening to this video because of my highly accurate, impressive track record so far, yeah, I pass this on to President Trump or any of his family members. I would appreciate it, because I think you're looking at a Great Depression that you're basically trying to store up grain for. In the words of Joseph from the Old Testament, I think we have about 5.5 years of plenty left in America until late 2030. And then I think we have 3.4 years of famine in the land and poverty. And possibly communism could try to take root in America around 2033. I think the next president could be a Republican, and I think the Democrats will blame the Republicans. I'm not a party guy, really. I don't care. Republicans and Democrats are both communists at their core. In the majority of cases, I think there's very few Republicans that actually love the Republic. I think they're both in it to destroy America, and Jerome Powell included. And so I think there's very few Republicans that actually love the Republic. So don't take me as a Republican, and definitely don't take me as a Democrat, but I'm definitely not a communist. I'm a conservative Christian, and I truly believe that the Lord Jesus has given me these gifts that you're seeing before you. And again, if you want to donate, feel free to donate. I love it. If you love my work, if you're blown away by it. Oh yeah, and then my final line is, if this is my last video, do I want to make someone a millionaire? Heck yeah, I do. Heck yeah. Do I want to be a part of that? Heck yeah. And do I want a huge donation in February 2028 if my call is spot on and you make $1 million and you're a millionaire because of using your own indicators but using my timing as a supplement, right? Because I'm not a licensed individual. I'm not a licensed trained professional. Please speak with your own licensed trained professional. But if I help you achieve some huge goal, and there's some huge monster rocket in the markets from a Father's Day low of 2025 till they peak in Super Bowl of 2028 for 2.5 years, and you become a millionaire and you're like blown away and you want to donate an absurd amount of money to me then, or over time, or you want to keep donating as the market keeps rocking up over the next 2.5 years if the call is precise, right? Please, if this is the last video I make for a long time, I don't know. Hopefully sometime I can make such a great video I can step away from this thing, and people don't need my input, right? They can go to my blog if they want, but the video explains so well in detail that you could watch the thing 340,000 times and still love it, right? That's what I love about Michael Jordan reruns. I probably watched his top 50 plays over 1,000 times. I just love it, right? And so hopefully there's a cult following at some point that loves my stock market timing models and videos. And so if I step away, or maybe if the Lord takes me to heaven someday, or says, hey man, I don't want you to do any more videos for a while, I want you to be quiet. Hey, maybe I could say, okay Lord, I feel like that video was pristine, spot on, and maybe my tongue will grow silent for a time. Hardly ever happens, let me tell you, but I'm the middle child, right? So I'm the talker. My older brother was the muscles, I'm the talker, so I got beat up on, and my younger brother was the guy that just sat there and laughed about it. His older brother beating up the middle brother, so that's how it all fell out there. But yeah, having my 7th kid pretty soon, like in a month and a half. Pretty excited about that. A lot of 7s this year. I'm 43 this year. It's 25 is the year, so that's a 7. I had 2 kids with my first wife, 5 kids with my last wife, or this wife, so that's 7, right? And it's funny because the first 2 basically symbolize the first 2 kids with my first wife, and the 5 symbolize the last 5 of my second wife. So I don't know how these things happen in life, but quite interesting. And then my wife made the joke with me the other night. She said, I'm glad God gave you your previous ex-wife, because there's no way in heck that I would ever have 7 kids with you. And on that note, hopefully you're laughing, and I will say goodbye. So hopefully all these predictions are spot on. I've entertained you for a good 40 minutes now. Good heavens! And hopefully this model finds the future well, and is precise in its predictions of future timing. And again, if you're close to President Trump or a high-level individual around the world, please share my work with them. It would mean a lot to me if I'd ever receive an email or a donation, I should say, from a high-level, respectable individual. If you're a communist slimeball, then obviously I don't care to receive your money at all. You can keep it. I'd be better off broke than getting money from corrupt politicians and slimeballs that are politicians. Not in my forte, but if you're an upstanding individual, a conservative, and yeah, as a politician, I would love to receive a donation from you. It'd mean a lot to me. Or if you're a pastor, I appreciate pastors too. I don't know if I've ever heard from a pastor or missionary, but yeah, that'd be cool. And yeah, if you are President Trump or someone in his cabinet, and yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I think that'd be pretty cool to have a sitting president or sitting vice president, or third in line. I don't know who that is, honestly, so please forgive me if I don't. But yeah, would love to get a donation from someone as such, or if you're a highly known, well-known actor like Clint Eastwood or someone like that, I think that'd be pretty cool to receive a donation from you sometime. And yeah, I guess that's it for the show today. Hopefully I have blown you away with Q1 2025's performance. I mean, I shifted the date, for heaven's sakes, from May 21st, 24th, right? And it looked great when the markets rocketed off that point, and then they're crashing now, right, into the 23rd, the March 23rd, or sorry, March 28th, 31st low that was predicted, and I shifted it. It's beautiful. I just love it. It cracks me up. So hopefully you're blown away by the accuracy as well. Super long video today. I didn't think I could ever do this and ever hold anyone's attention this long. So if you're still listening to, give yourself 2 thumbs up, and thanks for following my work in 2025. This is a great way to finish out Q1 of 2025, is making a great video. And again, if I don't make a video until Q1 of 2028, and markets just keep rocketing up, well then, I guess I will speak with you in the future. Around mid-June, I'll be looking at the triple leveraged index funds. I'll be looking at triple leveraged semiconductors. I'll be looking at you name it, like Soxel. I'll be looking at TECL, TECL. I'll be looking at SOXL. I'll be looking at SP. What is the UPRO? I guess is the triple leveraged long. So I'll be looking at all the triple leveraged longs around that time. Maybe like a Fangu or something, or is MAGS a triple leveraged? I don't think MAGS is, but like FNGU is a triple leveraged. I guess it's like TECL. But again, so please speak with a financial representative prior to investing. But those are the funds I'll be looking at to see if I'm going to be right about the big run up into 2028. The video is now 43 minutes long, and on that 7, I will take my bow and wish you a happy rest of the next 2.5 years if I don't speak with you. Take care. Bye. So hopefully you've enjoyed my show today. Warning, this is all forecast use only. Come here. You want to read this for me? What does that say? Forecast.
Forecast.
Use
only.
Only. Right. And what's this say?
Warning.
Disclaimer.
I am not
a licensed investment professional. That's Latin. So say caveat emptor. Seek professional advice prior to investing. Investing bears risk
of
financial
loss.
Very good. And so basically this is saying if you ever try to invest in stocks or anything else, you could lose money. Warning, warning, warning. And all my graphs are subject to change. And not all the results are not always the same. Yeah. Thank you for reading for me.
You're welcome.
And that's it for today. I'm B.R. Schultz. Until next time, take care.